What up, what up? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, every single member of the True Heel Nation. This is your good brother, J News, with another edition of J News Japan, coming back at you for 2021, talking to you about New Year's Dash and New Japan Strong 2021 Road to Lions Break Contenders Edition. Let's go ahead and do it, folks, so that we can get this show on the road. First up, January 6, 2021, Wednesday, New Year's Dash, live from the Tokyo Dome, City Hall, 1,019 in attendance in Tokyo, Japan. New Year's Dash was basically an amalgamation of a whole bunch of different tag team matches and starter feuds for the year of 2021. First match, 7 minutes and 59 seconds. Yuji Nagata versus the young lion Gabriel Kid. This was a well-contested match by both competitors. I want to say Gabriel Kid gave it his all in this match. Very well wrestled. A lot of good strikes, a lot of heavy strikes by Gabriel Kid against Yuji Nagata. He had Yuji Nagata on the ropes for a lot of the match, I would want to say, but Yuji Nagata eventually took Gabriel Kid more seriously and was able to kick the bejesus out of Gabriel Kid towards the tail end of the match, and then strap on the Nagata Lock 2 for the win. Second match of the night, tag team match. We had Young Lion, Yuya Uemura teaming up with the returning Tiger Mask to go up against members of the Suzuki-Gun, Dookie and Minoru Suzuki. 10 minutes and 45 seconds here. Basically, this match was tethered and put together for Yuya Uemura to start this, try to get some revenge on Minoru Suzuki, because Suzuki's been treating him as he should, as a young lion, right? As a little punk, or whatever the case is, and not taking Uemura seriously at all. Uemura took it upon himself to go after Minoru Suzuki plenty of times in this match. Couldn't really contest or combat the blows or hit Suzuki as hard as Suzuki hit him. But Uemura just kept on coming, and he kept on coming. And Minoru Suzuki beforehand would beat Uemura with a young lion maneuver, basically like a Boston Crab or a simple submission. But in this instance, in this tag match, since Dookie beat Uemura in the Best of Super Juniors match, Dookie was not necessarily dismissive of Uemura, but he spent more of his time going up against Tiger Mask, and Tiger Mask showing off his betterment in his health, basically in this match here. But it seems like they're going to start some sort of a young lion feud with Uemura and Suzuki, and probably them having some sort of a series, which will then graduate Suzuki into New Japan Dad territory. But Suzuki did put the Gotch-style pile driver on Uemura with the sleeper beforehand to get the win after 10 minutes and 45 seconds, with the team of Suzuki-Gun winning this match. Then the third match of the night, 6-man match, Yoda Suji versus Koji and Tenzhon versus the Empire to start this match. I say that specifically 9 minutes 44 seconds, where I felt that this match was completely dominated by the Empire. The Empire from start to finish just showed that they were angry, that they were on a mission, and that they were hell bent to take over New Japan Pro Wrestling and making examples of the New Japan dads, Koji and Tenzhon, and of course the young lion Yoda Suji. Yoda Suji paired off against Jeff Cobb. He wanted a piece of Jeff Cobb to start out. Will Ospreay got paired off with Kojima, and Great Khan got paired off with Tenzhon. Like I said, the Empire basically dominated this match, showing off their powerful traits and wrestling maneuvers. Not much offense outside of Kojima hitting a Koji cutter on Ospreay at one point. Tenzhon was able to, I believe Tenzhon was able to deliver at least 2 bouts of Mongolian chops onto Great Khan. But to no avail. Great Khan just seemed to overwhelm Tenzhon by all intents and purposes. Jeff Cobb was able to, at one point, do a spin cycle slam on Kojima, which I thought was outside of impressive. It was just random, really. But Suji was able to stand toe to toe with Jeff Cobb. Not much interaction between Will Ospreay and Tenzon, or Will Ospreay and Suji, I would say. The Empire team won this match. Jeff Cobb did his. It says he won via body press here over Yoda Suji, because the young lion usually gets the pin. Usually gets pinned, but I don't necessarily recall how Jeff really beat him. It wasn't his usual moonsault press that I would see him do after a slam or something like that. But Jeff Cobb got the win. After the bell rung, though, is when the Empire became the United Empire. The three men, Jeff Cobb, Great-O-Khan, and Will Ospreay, went after Hiroshi Tenzon and injured him. Hiroshi Tenzon was carried out in a stretcher. Kojima and Suji were cast to the side and negated during this match. Tenzon, according to New Japan News, did go away with some sort of a neck injury. In accordance, it does say that Tenzon was examined by doctors and treated for a neck injury. Tenzon's injury is not thought to be serious, and he will make a full recovery. Tenzon will go further evaluation before he is cleared for further action. So this is all storyline, so it seems that they're creating this storyline where it's going to be the Mongolian chop-off between Hiroshi Tenzon and the Great-O-Khan, because they put it on O-Khan, where he was the one who injured Tenzon, even though it was the three men who pounded on Tenzon. And Kojima seems to be the first in line to try to get some sort of retribution against one of the members of the now United Empire. And Will Ospreay just cut one of those loud and vociferous heel promos after the bell rung as well. I'm basically telling people, if you're not going to take me if you didn't take me seriously before, you better watch out now. Fourth match of the night, we had members of Suzuki-Gun, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, El Desperado, Zack Sabre Jr., and Taichi, versus members of the Bullet Club, El Phantasmo, Taiji Ishimori, Tonga Loa, and Tama-Tonga, G.O.D. Ain't nobody realer than Gorillas. 11 minutes, 35 seconds. What can I say here? I think the storylines here obviously are as obvious as they are. El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori, being that El Phantasmo got the win over Kanemaru, hit him with a thrust kick, aka the super kick. Hiromu has stated after his match on night one at Wrestle Kingdom that El Phantasmo's thrust kick, aka the super kick, felt different than usual. It felt like Hiromu said that he felt like something was in El Phantasmo's boots, and it does seem that way, because when El Phantasmo hit the thrust kick, Kanemaru was knocked out for quite some time afterwards, and he had to be carried out by his Suzuki-Gun teammates. So now it seems that Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo, the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, will be vying for a shot against the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions El Desperado and Kanemaru, being that El Phantasmo pinned Kanemaru after the thrust kick. And then, of course, we're probably going to get a rematch of G.O.D. versus the Dangerous Tekker sometime down the road, being that Tonga Loa and Tama-Tonga defeated Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai-Chi at Wrestle Kingdom Night 1. We will see some sort of further feud develop, because Tama-Tonga did take the Iron Hand from Tai-Chi, and that's going to be something to look forward to. And then, of course, we have Night 5. It's going to be the Chaos faction versus the Bullet Club here. So Chaos members Yoshihashi, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, Toru Yano, and Kazuchika Okada went up against Bullet Club members Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Bad Luck Fale, Evil, and Jay White. Alright, folks. So I know that during my Wrestle Kingdom reviews with SP3 and the Stat King, I mentioned that I didn't believe, my opinion was of such, that I didn't believe Jay White was going to be leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that this was all a work or a ruse or whatever have you. But it seems that the story is now picking up steam amongst the wrestling websites and the wrestling news boards and stuff like that, where it seems that Jay White's contract at New Japan Pro Wrestling is running out at the end of January. There is a there is a thought that the New Japan Road shows that are scheduled for the middle of January, starting on January 17th, might not take place due to the new lockdown restrictions that are being levied in Japan. So the shows that have been scheduled for the 17th and so forth, and for the rest of the month of January might not even take place. So January 6th, 2020 might actually be the last time we see Jay White in a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring. That honestly was not something I thought about. I think that Jay White is terrific in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think if Jay White goes to another promotion, I feel like they won't know what to do with him, to be quite honest. And that's just obviously my personal opinion. I don't necessarily know how creative is run out in MLW or ROH as of late, and then of course there's AEW and the WWE. I am not a fan of him going to the WWE at all, be it NXT or main roster. I just feel like they won't know what to do with him at all, and he'll be in that mid-card of doom vortex and never be given the opportunity to shine and do what he does, what he's currently doing at the New Japan Pro Wrestling level. So I know he probably doesn't even watch the show, doesn't even know who I am, but Jay White, brother, I understand that money makes the world go round, and your lifestyle can be made much easier if you go to places like AEW or WWE, but there are other ways of making money. There are other avenues and opportunities in which you can make more money, even still being with New Japan Pro Wrestling. You just gotta look and search for them, bro, because at the end of the day, being on the bigger stage doesn't necessarily net you better success. And that's just words of wisdom coming from a dude who's tried his hardest the last 36 and some odd years to make it somewhere in life. So I just want to say that out front. To give a recap of the match, 13 minutes, 47 seconds. I kind of had a feeling that the Chaos faction was going to win this match, just due to the fact that the Bullet Club didn't look great coming out of Wrestle Kingdom. And then when Jay White ate the pin off of the vertical drop brain buster from Tomohiro Ishii to end the match, that's when I knew, or I had the feeling where it was like, oh, this doesn't really bode well here. Because now the rumors have it that the inclination for Jay White is not to re-sign with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't necessarily know what's gonna be going on with that. As for feuds or future feuds that might be coming about here, I can't necessarily call anything, right? I mean, the Yoshihashi, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroki Goto are still the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champions. So maybe the 6-man team of Yujiro, Bad Luck Fale, and Chase Owens chase them. Maybe Evil gets put into the KOPW Whirling Dervish throughout the year, so he can take on Toru Yano at some point. Okada is more or less in limbo, right? Okada doesn't really have anyone to face off against as of right now, unless Jay White does end up re-signing with New Japan Pro Wrestling and starts his journey back through beating the members of the roster who have some luster left, like Kazuchika Okada, and trying to get that retribution and get his way back to the top of the card, and eventually sometime down the road becoming champ again. That's the only thing that I can see for Jay White if he does stay with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I hope that he does. Then the main event, another 10-man tag here. Master Wato, Sho, Rocky Romero, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kota Ibushi went up against members of Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Tetsuya Naito, Shingo Takagi, and my main man Sanada. 17 minutes, 23 seconds of just fluid action from Los Ingobernables de Japón. Their rapid fire action up against that team of the members of Chaos, Master Wato, Tanahashi, and Ibushi. Rocky Romero and Sho really carried them. I would say Sho and Wato carried the majority of the match, along with Rocky Romero, Tanahashi, and Ibushi didn't really have anything going on during the match. What I do have to say is the following: this particular match set up storylines for the next couple of weeks, maybe months, or whatever the case is. Bushi, after the match was over, LIJ did win. Bushi hit the MX on Master Wato. But after the match was over and the bell rung, Shingo Takagi basically challenged Hiroshi Tanahashi to a match for the Never Openweight championship, and Takagi's champion. Obviously, we know that Sanada wants a piece of Kota Ibushi, so it seems that Sanada will be the first challenger to Kota Ibushi's double championships. And like I said before, we have Bushi going up against Master Wato. They're going to start that feud, and then Hiromu Takahashi is going to be taking on Sho. So it seems like Sho is going to be the first contender to Hiromu Takahashi's IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship belt. And yet again, Tetsuya Naito is left in limbo here, because I know he's not going to start beefing with Rocky Romero. But it does seem that Tetsuya Naito and Kazuchika Okada, being that they're left in limbo and without championships, it seems that those two mainstays of the main event picture in New Japan Pro Wrestling have to find something to do. Maybe they feud against each other. Who knows? But they are right now in wrestling limbo. So that was New Year's Dash. Now, on to Road to Lions Break contenders. First match of the night, Young Lions, Clark Connors, Kevin Wright. Every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NewJapanWorld.com. This show aired on January 8th. Clark Connors, Kevin Knight, also known as Jet Knight, from the indie scene, 7 minutes and 37 seconds. Clark Connors being the more senior member of the Lions, of the Young Lions of the LA Dojo, wins this match after 7 minutes and 37 seconds with the Boston Crab. Good back and forth, very solid, basic formatted wrestling between Clark Connors and Kevin Knight. But you can see the super athleticism and super hops that Kevin Knight does have and does bring. And if you've never seen anything that Kevin Knight's done before, aka Jet Knight, like I said before, that's J-E-T-T, Knight. Check him out. Check his spotlights and gifts out on YouTube and all over Instagram. The dude has some crazy athleticism, some crazy hops. He's got a bright future ahead of him. So does Clark Connors. Clark Connors wins this match by basic Boston Crab submission. Rocky Romero went up against the DKC. 8 minutes and 32 seconds. The grizzled veteran here, Rocky Romero, of course, took charge and was able to pick apart the DKC, even though the DKC showed a lot of heart, a lot of tenacity, a lot of fire, as he usually does, to try to combat Rocky Romero with his strikes and his martial arts background. But to no avail, Rocky Romero hit or clapped on the Diablo armbar to defeat the DKC. After the match was over, the DKC cut a very emotional promo, and he pleaded to Katsuyori Shibata to please teach him his ways and please let him in to the New Japan Dojo. Shibata-san then comes out, gets on the microphone, and he tells him in plain English, please come with me. And so the DKC has now been accepted into the Young Lions camp, the LA Dojo, with Katsuyori Shibata, and Shibata-san will be training and teaching the DKC. Then we had the 6-man main event match, the Regal Twins, Logan and Sterling, with Brody King up against Danny Limelight and JR Kratos. At one point during the show, there's two bits that I have to mention. Filthy Tom Lawler opened up the show, basically kicking out, quote-unquote, Russ Taylor, being that Russ Taylor is now Tyler Rust at NXT. And he kicked Russ Taylor out of the group, but he did say that for this particular 6-man tag team match that he would make a call and invite someone who has some really dirty tactics and background to join the team. And so, without a shadow of a doubt, he did that. The man called the Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson. I've watched Chris Dickinson on the Indies for the last several years. He's made a lot of stints in Japan, also over in Europe. He's also a graduate of the, I believe, is a New Jersey Pro Wrestling, a wrestling school and stuff like that. I know him and Kevin. Him and Killer Cross or Karrion Kross. They go way back. They did a I believe Josh Barnett's Bloodsport event last year. They went up against each other, or 2 years ago maybe. Chris Dickinson and Killer Cross did. Dickinson's a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a striker. It is more of the tough man, strong style type of wrestling that Chris Dickinson does. He does not go in there and showboat around. That man is ground and pound, and he takes people apart, and that's how it came about in this 6-man tag. Chris Dickinson joined J.R. Kratos and Danny Limelight, and he is now a member of Team Filthy. And he was able to, in I think 3 or 4 chops, just light up Logan Regal's chest. Chris Dickinson was also in there with Sterling Regal and Brody King. Brody King obviously always has mass and height over most people. He dwarfed Chris Dickinson, but he was not able to overpower him at all whatsoever. Danny Limelight just being more of a character in this match. Just to point out, J.R. Kratos didn't have much to do in this match. 9 minutes and 42 seconds. Danny Limelight did get the pin after running DVD on Logan Regal. They then cut a promo in the back basically welcoming the Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson, into Team Filthy and into New Japan Pro Wrestling and New Japan Strong, and being that newest member of Team Filthy, along with J.R. Kratos basically saying at the end, Brody King better have eyes in the back of his head. And I wanted to separate this because I thought it was very, very interesting to see this, because I've known of Bateman for a long period of time. ROH fame, you guys have probably seen the Stat King and Ness talk about him when it comes to ROH TV and things of that nature. He's had his run with Vincent as of late as well. But Bateman is such an interesting character. He had a interview with Kevin Kelly that lasted, I would say, about 3.5 to 4 minutes, which was very weird, off-putting, intriguing, yet like you just don't know necessarily what you're gonna get. But the basic premise of the interview was to introduce Bateman to the New Japan Strong fan base and the New Japan fan base, because Bateman will be making his debut in the coming weeks here on New Japan Strong, and that's going to be quite the story there, because Kevin Kelly did mention during the interview of Bateman's propensity for violence, and also that Bateman originally joined the LA Dojo, but he was kicked out of the LA Dojo because of his brand of violence and not adhering to the rules. So it seems that there is an embedded background and backstory with Bateman and New Japan all its own. So that right there within itself, being able to create that story just off of the interview alone, and Bateman basically saying, "I am not one who is good with words. I'd rather just show you what I can do," is all about what pro wrestling is all about, should I say? And I can't wait to see as to how they integrate him into the New Japan Strong fold, and if things get better with the pandemic and travel restrictions lift, what he's going to be able to do on the New Japan level. I think Bateman is very, very talented in the ring. I've seen his stuff from the Indies and PWG specifically. The dude can do a lot of different things, and he's changed up his character quite a bit to be who he is now. So I'm just wondering how it's all going to blend together, and how big of a star he's going to be able to be on his own going forward. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the wrap on Road to Lions Break Contenders. First New Japan Strong show of the year, and also New Year's Dash. As always, folks, thank you for watching and sticking with me. I feel like I've been gone for so long, but it's not been so long because we did the 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom. I'll be coming back to you later on in the week with another New Japan Strong episode, because there are no road shows this week at all. And as per the knowledge that I have, and I'm sure some of you folks who are New Japan fans as well, would assume, but it's been made official, there will be no Fantastica Mania this year due to the obvious travel restrictions from Mexico to Japan and so on and so forth. So no CMLL New Japan show will be coming up this year, unfortunately. So keep on watching New Japan shows on NewJapanWorld.com, and also just a tidbit, because I'm a wrestling fan overall, you can watch CMLL Mexican Lucha Libre Wrestling on YouTube through the CMLL YouTube channel. It comes on every Friday and Saturday. They upload and live stream their shows or whatever the case is that have no fans in them. So if you're interested in any sort of CMLL Mexican Lucha Libre outside of AAA and the Crash, you can watch CMLL there on free on the YouTube. So this has been what it's been. As always, folks, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. This has been your good brother Jay News. I'm about this. I'll see you on the flip. Folks. Peace.